So, I have been challenging myself to try and make a video from start to finish as quickly as possible. I am this far into the process. I go to open my editor and I realize I never hit record. Then the second time I go to record, I was recording here and I forgot to turn on the microphone over here. I'm not even recording an audio now. This video was supposed to be all about simplicity, so I feel like I'm failing all the checks at the moment. So, let's try this again. So in my last video, I was talking about consistency and how I want to post videos every single week, and I've already failed that. I've already gone about 2. I think I'm approaching 3 weeks since my last upload. Now this is still an improvement over my latest cadence of release, which is like once every 3 or 4 months. So it's still an improvement. However, I have had this intention that I want to sit down in this chair and focus on editing in some shape or form. I have a tendency to, when I'm stressed and anxious, I will just keep bumping that thing that I want to do later and later into the day and eventually into the night until it's so late that it makes almost no sense for me to start that project. I've been getting a little bit more resentful or a little bit more angry towards myself because I'm not actually prioritizing this thing I keep saying I really want to do. As I was sitting in our common space here at the household, the kitchen area, living room, dining area, it's kind of where people go to congregate when they're just kind of feeling a little bit more social, they're just wanting to relax for the day. Sometimes when I'm avoiding something that I want to work on, I will go out there and just kind of disperse that anxious energy with the intention that I would come back and start working on it. Now, the issue that I have is that I often go into this realm. It's weird that I'm calling it a realm, but it's like common space realm. I go into this realm, this room, and then I get sucked into the energy of everything else happening. And again, this is kind of a discipline issue, kind of not setting my intentions or not having those boundaries for myself of saying, I'm only going to go into this room for 20 minutes and then I'm going to come back and work on my thing. Or, hey, I've got this YouTube space that I really want to be in at 1 p.m. and I'll walk out at 12:50 p.m. and then something else comes up, or I get sucked into someone else's project or a conversation, and 15 minutes, whatever, is not the end of the world, but that ends up becoming 4 or 5 hours for me if I'm not able to separate myself, which is the typical trend. Being sucked into common space things is also applied to a digital space as well. It's digital common space could be like the Facebook feed, YouTube feed, one more video on YouTube, going through my notes and just getting spiraling and pinballing between so many different tasks and projects and ideas that I'm really wanting to work on. So today I was in a common space. I was having these sad, angry, upset feelings that I was not prioritizing something that I wanted to work on. I was sort of half in the social world and half in my own world, and I wasn't getting the benefit of either because I was in the social world feeling like I really wanted to be in my personal projects, and I was kind of half in working on personal projects, but I kept leaning into the social space. I kept weaving back and forth. So in the once people started winding down, there was just a couple people left in the common space, and I finally separated myself from the energy of the space, and I was just kind of mad at myself. I was just I want to make a freaking video, and I know that the video that I'm working on for the birthday thing is going to take a little bit more time, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually complete that before my next target upload time of Saturday. So hopefully when you're seeing this, it's actually on a Saturday, and I will then now be working on the actual birthday video. They're making some more progress on it. So as I came back into the space, I kept reflecting on what Ariel was sharing with me about trying to sprinkle in the little easier, simpler videos that are just me talking to you, me giving you a life update, and sharing things that are on my mind, things I'm learning this week or this month, or just this experience that I had. So basically making this kind of my bread and butter until I become more consistent. I was noticing the consistency video took me a lot longer than it quote unquote should have, because it was supposed to be a straightforward, easy cut. And then this video, I'm running into lots of technical issues where I'm taking longer than I wanted. And then the birthday video is taking a little bit longer because it's more involved than I thought it would be. And I'm running into so much resistance in just the scripting process and then the voiceover process, overcomplicating it. It's almost like I have to just make this my weekly video, and then I continue to chip away at the birthday video until that one's ready, and then I can slide that into the next week's release. So I was thinking a lot about what Ariel was sharing about keeping things simple and just doing these update videos. And so out of a sense of spite or a sense of anger almost, there this little idea popped up of what if I just start a video and edit a video and publish a video as quickly as possible. So the idea theoretically is I could start and finish this video in 1 or 2 days max. And the one thing that was kind of helpful to think about is that if I cannot make consistent videos, then it's possible that my videos are too complicated for me to make consistently. And the goal then is to simplify my videos until they are simple enough that I can actually post every single week. Get consistent first, and then through the nature of working on something consistently and frequently, and just the total amount of hours worked on a project, just the natural like quality of my videos will just go up without even really trying. And then I can start to push myself outside of my comfort zone into the realm of make good videos every single week instead of just make videos every single week. This for me isn't necessarily about the videos themselves, it's actually more about the discipline meta habit of if I can set those intentions and actually follow through, like using boundaries and restricting myself from like playing games too much at night or staying up too late, having those healthy boundaries so that I'm actually focusing on the priorities that are at high priority and actually following through with action, then that will start to trickle off into other areas. So this YouTube video is essentially a keystone habit that will kind of trickle out and spread out into other areas of my life, and that's the hope. So in other words, simplify, simplify, simplify as much as possible right now. Even when I was starting to make this video, my whole intention was just to grab my camera and just talk to it. And then I noticed like, okay, it's a little bit too dark, so I turn on a couple lights, I attach a little like light thing to my camera, and then I like set the camera down and I just thought I could just sit on the floor and talk to it. And then I was like, that's a little bit uncomfortable, so I'll just put it on the tripod. Then I like had to frame it a little bit more, so it's like I still kind of did all of the work that I would normally do, but because I just focused on make the video as quickly as possible and just start with the simplest thing, which is hold the camera and talk to it. It took me maybe 10-15 minutes to kind of set everything up and get everything to my liking. I was able to like actually get to that point that I've been resisting for weeks at this point. My brain is like way too forward thinking. It's like I'm sitting at my computer writing. I'm already in like a cerebral mental state, and I'm not like tangibly engaging with the world. And this is something that comes up a lot. I spend 90% of my time planning and 10% of my time executing on things, and I need to invert that. I need to be like planning 10% of the time and working on the thing 90% of the time, being engaged in the world 90% of the time. So if I can find a way to get myself to do that more often, like just focus on, I'm just going to pick up the camera and talk to it, and then realize like I want to put it on a tripod or turn on a light or set up the frame a little bit different or whatever. Maybe that's what I need to do, just kind of like trick myself into making the quickest, simplest videos every single time. While I think my brain is really good at organizing and planning and all that, I have a lot of resistance to actually starting and a lot of resistance to being in the work. And depending on the situation, like there's some things I can get lost in something for hours or days, and editing is actually one of those things for me, but there's steps I have to get to first before I can edit something. And even just sitting down in the chair and opening the editor is sometimes a hurdle for myself, because it's like, oh, there's like some other messages and stuff I could get to first, or there's a person I could connect with over here, instead of like having to consciously make that decision, set that boundary for myself, and kind of honor my own commitments to myself of like, nope, this time is for me. Like checking the time because it's getting kind of late and I should be getting off the internet soon. So yeah, I think all of this is essentially getting me to focus on simplicity and bring myself back to tangibly working with the art and the craft of the world, rather than trying to like think and plan and like meditate even. Like I know there's meditation's good, mindfulness is good, blah blah blah, but it's like it's living up here instead of getting to like grapple with the world. And that's like the thing that I feel like is going to be most useful for me right now. Like it's better for me to be going in almost blind into something, grapple with like camera settings or lighting or different things, and like I'll learn so much more just by like dabbling than I will be trying to have this like perfect vision. It's very unlikely that most of my visions will actually come true because I don't have the skills or the gear to actually kind of manifest them in those ways. So I better learn to envision things from like the present moment and the reality of like what my equipment and what my skills can actually manifest. And then over time, both of those increase. My ability to envision things and my skills and my gear will increase over time, so that both the vision and the actualization of things can kind of be at a similar level. So I'm going to close this video out so that I can work on editing it, see if there's anything else I want to add to it while it's in the edit, because I am recording. That's good. So I would like to invite you to think about something that you are really wanting to work on. Maybe you're avoiding it, you're procrastinating, there's just all this resistance, or maybe it's like getting too intricate. What are some ways that you can either simplify that project, or what is some way that you can channel this like anxiousness or this anger of not working on it and like positively channel it into some aspect of that thing? And I would love to hear from you in the comments what your thing is, what obstacle you're facing, and how you are going to channel your energy into a very pinpoint specific thing to move the needle or simplify it in some way. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.